All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Hey, Quinn.
Hey.
Today we have a wonderful guest, Quinn Taylor with VCU. And by kicking things off, Quinn, I'd love it so the audience can get to know you better. If you can just share some of your personal background and what drew you to nutrition and higher education.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I grew up in a rural area in Western Maryland on the border of West Virginia. So I was lucky enough to grow up, surrounded by nature and gardening and a big family who loved to cook. So that really, gave me a passion for cooking and food from a young age. And when it came time to decide what I wanted to do with my life, I found nutrition as the perfect, intersection between my love for food and, for health and wellness. And I found myself at James Madison University where I studied dietetics. And
Mhm.
then from there, I ended up in Richmond, Virginia to do my dietetic internship at VCU Health System and was really able to get an idea of a lot of different areas of practice that you can do when you become a registered dietitian. But lucky enough, this role popped up, and it was, the perfect spot for me.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I was gonna see what brought you to VCU, so you already answered that question. And how long have you been with VCU?
So I've been here for it'll be 2 years in September.
Okay, awesome. Almost two.
Yeah, I
Happy
know.
early anniversary.
Thank you.
So from your perspective, as you know, culinary in higher education changes so quickly. Whether it's new dietary preferences, um, that's been a huge topic over the past several years with that rapid change, as well as desires for international cuisines and higher standards for allergy consciousness, things like that. What are some of the latest trends that you have noticed on campus at VCU in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no surprise that ever since I started here, we've just been continuing to see an interest in vegan and plant-based eating, like we've seen everywhere, right, over the past few years. So that's been something that our students have really been, commenting on and coming forward and requesting more options and not just vegan options, but really this emphasis on plant forward eating, even for folks who aren't vegan and just interested in eating more whole, fresh foods. So
Yeah.
that's really been a big push we've seen here. And then specifically at VCU, we always like to look at our population and see what they specifically need. So, for instance, we have a really large population of students who keep halal. So, we're always looking, inward in our dining program and seeing what we can add, what we can change and tweak. And, we bring in local farmers now to kind of meet the needs of students, introduce, more plant forward options to kind of really meet those needs on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that thoughtfulness too. And
Yeah.
going off of local sourcing and clean food and wanting to be healthy and more plant-based, how does having a micro farm with Babylon fit into those trends?
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits perfectly. You really can't get, fresher or more sustainable than having your farm, 5 feet from where you're serving it on the salad bar. And our students love to see it. They love to see that, we do have that emphasis on fresh, sustainability right in our dining hall.
Yeah, for sure. I see they've shared some pictures too from
Yeah.
UMass Micro Farm at VCU. I love that little picture with the salad and then the micro farm in the in the background.
Yeah,
That's
it's so cute.
Yeah, I know that a lot of our university partners have mentioned how excited their students are and how engaged they want to be. So that's something we're really proud to be able to offer because to us, it's definitely captivating, but we want to make sure that to our users, it's even more so when they engage. So we're really
Yeah.
happy to hear that for sure. So with the produce menu that we do offer, have you seen any increase in consumption, in terms of salads or certain leafy greens? Or have you seen that students have become more open to trying new foods from the microfarm?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, just even when we do have Babylon greens like fresh out on the salad bar, I notice that they go so much quicker than like the other lettuce mixes that are there. I think students just know they like to see where their food comes from,
Exactly.
right? So that goes really quick. And then I am always hearing from students that they want to see just more vegetables in general, lightly toasted or roasted and other than just a salad bar. I utilize Babylon a lot when I do tabling events, and so I can really get in front of students, and they're definitely more willing to like try something when I say like, "Oh, I harvested it just upstairs, 20 minutes ago."
Mhm.
So we are seeing an increase in interest in, eating fresher veggies, which is so great to see on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does help too. Like I know I'm definitely part of that market that you mentioned just a second ago with like I eat meat, but I want to eat more plant-based foods. I mean,
Absolutely.
thank God I have no food allergies. So
Yeah.
I'm able to try anything, really open to trying a lot of new foods. But I love this movement that we're seeing, not
Hmm.
only for plant-based options, but more nutrition, more nutrient dense rather, produce as well. So it's just extra special when you can see where it comes from or even touch where it comes from
Yeah,
before it gets on your plate. So I love that they're really
exactly.
with
Yeah, they're
what
into it.
that's amazing. So how does the farm and what you guys are offering help you and your team communicate healthy nutritional options to your students?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge help. Like I said, I do, weekly tabling events where I'm able to get in front of students, and I try to utilize Babylon in some of the events as I can. So I did a build your own salad in a jar, and used, greens and microgreens from the farm. And it was a great way that I could, have a little bit more time with the student. They kind of wanted to talk a little bit more and engage a little bit more when they knew, it came from the farm. They love asking questions about it. So it's definitely helped me communicate with my students. And also our new executive chef, you can see one of his delicious meals right in front of us. He's been loving it. He loves to like do really interesting things with some of the produce, and is always trying to talk to students, and then even the folks who work at our salad bar, they can say, hey, this was harvested right behind me. So
Yeah,
it's been great for communicating.
I love that. And I imagine too, having the micro farm on campus for them to see too helps your team be more approachable for student engagement as well. And again,
Absolutely.
just connecting that, food connects everybody. And then having food that, or it brings people together, and then having something that you can see and interact with on site, I feel like really elevates that even
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, it's a perfect first thing to see when you walk into the dining hall, like fresh
yeah,
veggies. What more could you
for
ask
sure.
for?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. So which crop do your students seem to enjoy the most? Has that stood out at all?
Ooh, yeah. So I would say there's three that come to mind, I think, and my personal favorite as well. I think the butter lettuce is always a hit. That's always so abundant, and it just looks beautiful. It tastes delicious. So that's a huge favorite. I use that in my events for, salad in a jars and whatnot. And then the cilantro is a huge hit. We have a taco bar at one of our locations that has the farm, so I'm always growing cilantro for them, and that goes right on the bar. And then recently this semester, I started growing the pea shoots, the snap pea shoots, and that's been a big hit. Our chef loves using those, and it's really cool because most students, including myself, actually, have never tried that. So it's a fun one.
And they're so cute too.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're really tasty.
And they're super flavorful,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about signature dishes. So
Mhm.
you have the taco bar. Are there any other signature dishes or fun applications that you guys do that you want to mention?
Yeah, so definitely the taco bar. That's like a staple for us. Recently, our executive chef did a chef spotlight where he used the snap pea shoots to make a pea beurre blanc sauce for
Ooh,
like a crusted branzino, and used
oh,
the
wow.
microgreens to garnish, and that was super cool. So he like blended it and pureed it up into a sauce, which I've never had. Students were really into it. So that was really cool. Very like a much more elevated dish than we're used to doing here, but a very cool one.
Yeah, and that certainly sets VCU apart too from other universities. I feel like college dining, you never hear the best reviews, so that you guys even
Yeah.
have that is incredible. And I know that we're just so tickled to be able to help provide for that experience because we really do care about what we offer and the menu that we've been able to
Yeah.
cultivate as well. Is there any produce that your chef or students have asked for that we don't currently supply that you think we should be brainstorming for?
I know my chef is always asking me for random stuff, but I
Yeah,
really I don't know. There's not one that sticks out right now that you guys don't offer.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions too about, well, what about tomatoes or strawberries? And I
Yeah,
do know it's hard because fruiting plants need to be pollinated.
exactly.
But that's not to say we haven't, thought about it. And
Yeah.
our lead horticulturalist is amazing. And I know she's done some cool things and her brain's always moving. So
Yeah.
definitely keep the feedback coming with what you want to try.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
we have gotten peppers. I have had my chef
okay.
say, like, can we grow peppers in there? I was like, I don't think so, but
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, always looking to see how we can expand our menu and keep providing fun stuff.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
um, so next question. I think the audience especially would love to see, or get a great sense of how students have received the farms on campus. So it sounds like so far they're really engaged and love it.
Yeah.
But do you have any comments in particular from students that have really resonated with you about the farm in terms of how they're enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, I always see students, even if I'm not like right there tending to the farm, if I'm just up there observing, students are always like peeking their head in and being like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Or like, what is this? And we
Mhm.
do open house events for like prospective students and their parents. And when the parents come in, they love it. They're always, asking questions about what it is. I think something, one student sticks out. I was actually at the farm like harvesting and they came up and they were just like, this is so cool. Like, how can I do this?
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, whoa, like, maybe I'll hire an intern. But they were an engineering student who was super passionate about like hydroponic farming and just really wanted to learn more about it. So comments like that always come. We have a really great like sustainability club and team here on campus that are always really excited to, see what the farm's growing and hear about it. So really nothing but positive feedback.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something too we try to always be thinking about is expanding the application of the farm. So it's not just something we view as we've built this hydroponic farm where you can grow fresh produce and enjoy the food. It's also an opportunity for horticulture curriculums or sustainability clubs, internships, horticultural therapy. So trying to work with our partners, and you guys
Mhm.
are doing incredible things. We love it. You're like one of
Thank
our
you.
poster child for
Oh,
like
thank you.
for use case, but yeah, expanding the usage of the farm because there's so many things you can do
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
that one farm. So I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Um, so as an operator, yourself, of the micro farm, how has Babylon Micro Farms been a partner in servicing and supporting your micro farms?
Yeah, I mean, they've been great. My like rep, Matt, he's great. I can shoot him a text. I can send him a picture if something like looks off or I'm not sure about, how something's growing. I can just send him a picture.
Yeah.
He's really responsive. I've even gotten on like a FaceTime with him before. And he's had me like show him, parts of the farm so he could walk me through certain steps. And then we're lucky enough, we are just a couple miles away from the main warehouse, which I luckily got to tour. It was amazing.
Mhm.
So if there's ever like a tech that needs to come out to service the farm, it's super quick. Um, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
our customer support team they're always engaging with our clients
yeah,
and
they're great.
I'm so happy to hear that. Matt's amazing.
Yeah, no, he's great. I'll call him up and I know he'll always answer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. Um, so again, you mentioned some engagement, but are there any new activities that you've kind of brainstormed and you want to try with the microfarm in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I really want to do the flower pressing. I think you guys have had it like as an event on your website, and I just know the students would absolutely eat it up. So I think in the beginning of the fall semester, I think will be a perfect time when it's still beautiful and I can do it outside to grow some pansies and do some like
Mhm.
flower pressing or something with the flowers because they're
Yeah.
beautiful to look at, but we're still kind of working on ways that we can utilize them, a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we just added a couple more flowers to our menu,
Oh,
so
great.
I'll review those in the presentation just in a couple minutes. But yeah, any ideas you have too, that's something else we really care about is ideating alongside our partners. And we really do view it as a partnership and not a one-time sales exchange. Like we're here to collaborate and help you guys meet all the visions that you have because the impact, especially from a community perspective, is so huge. So, yeah, keep us posted on the flower pressing and we can
I
see
will.
how
Yeah,
much
I'll take
interest
some
you have.
pictures.
So, yeah, absolutely. Um, so last question for now, what other, especially you being a dietitian, what nutrition initiatives are you spearheading on campus? And I guess how is Babylon fitting into those initiatives?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one that comes to mind, like I mentioned, is those tabling events that I do. When I got here, they weren't really a frequent thing that was happening, so I'm really trying to make them. I'm calling it Wellness Wednesday.
Yeah,
A weekly thing that really the whole student body will know about and want to come out to kind of see what's going on. I always include, some piece of nutrition education tied into, a recipe or a fun interactive activity, which I've used Babylon, like I mentioned, many times before, but the salad in the jar, that was like such a huge hit. I've used the herbs to do like infused water. So any way that I can tie that in and have a little cross promotion I like to do. But yeah, really just my goal for the upcoming year is to really expand those health and wellness events and make them a more known thing on campus.
amazing. Well, you have been such a pleasure. I love your expertise.
No, I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
again so much for joining today and being a part of
Yeah.
this conversation. Um, you've definitely shared so many great stories. I know our audience has definitely gotten some food for thought. But is there anything else that you have that you want to share on the top of your mind, final remarks before we dig into Q&A?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me. I'm glad we got to chat. I I think Babylon is so cool. Everyone that comes across it is just like that is the coolest thing ever. And I think it's such a great way to allow us to engage with our community. And, here specifically, we're at higher ed, so we're engaging with college students, but, K-12, senior living, whatever the population of individuals is, I think there's such a clear way that Babylon can fit into that. And, I think nutrition and sustainability education is only becoming more important, and Babylon just provides a really easy and seamless way to educate and engage with your community, so we love it here.
You know what? I don't even need to give my PowerPoint after you say that. You just tied in the whole message so well. Um, no, I absolutely agree. And again, we just love it when people love what we do as well, because we love what we do and we're really proud to be able to offer that platform and just see how people are utilizing it. And again, VCU is just one of the best examples of university engagement and keeping people happy and fed well and everything in between. So yeah, thank you again so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So now I'm going to pass it back to my Babylon colleagues for Q&A. See what questions there are in the chat.
Hello, Alex and Quinn. We did get a few questions this afternoon. So I would like to start with how long do the flowers take to grow?
Okay, yeah, so the flowers, the average time is about 10 to 11 weeks. But those, along with the herbs, you can cut back up to 3 different times before you need an entirely new plant to draw from. So they have a little bit of a different output, but yeah, average 10 to 11 weeks.
Thank you. Um, we also wanted to ask, what was training like in terms of learning how to harvest plants, specifically with microgreens? How does that look on both ends, from Babylon's side and from Quinn's side on the partnership side?
Yeah, so I mean on my end it was really easy. I kind of took the farms over from someone else who was doing it, but we were able to set up a call with Matt, my rep, and he, you know, gave me the whole presentation, walked me through, the steps of the app and every step that I need to do, and it's been super easy. The app like literally does everything. It tells you exactly what to do. So I'm lucky I have a bit of a green thumb if I do say so myself, but even, previous people who have tended a farm who did not like gardening or anything like that, they were able to do it, easy peasy.
Awesome. Yeah. And I do know, at least from the Babylon side, so when somebody does purchase a farm, upon installation, we do have training in person for that, so that whoever is going to be operating the farm has that in-person experience. But then again, to Quinn's point, within the app, we do have videos and tutorials for reference in addition to your account manager. So between the initial installation and training, you've got the app with videos, and then like Quinn has Matt to contact at any time for other questions and things like that.
Awesome. And one more question for Quinn. We just wanted to know what the time commitment looked like for you on a week-to-week basis.
I mean, it varies week to week. Sometimes, like if there needs to be a big deep clean. But on average, we have two farms here, so maybe sometime like 1 to 2 hours a week, or maybe not even. It depends on how much you're harvesting truly. But like if I just have to go and, trim some herbs, maybe transplant some seeds, it would take me 30 minutes. If I have to clean some trays, maybe add on an additional 30 minutes. But I feel like a couple of hours a week for our two farms is normally what I kind of look at.
Perfect. Thank you. Alex, the last question you'll probably be covering in your upcoming presentation. It's about the size of the farm and the specifications. So just as a heads up to please cover that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Quinn, and
Yeah,
we
thank you.
appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you again. It was so nice to talk with you. You're incredible. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, everybody, I am going to share my screen and dig into the details of Babylon. So again, Quinn gave some fantastic insight into what they've been able to do on campus, but now I'll dig into those details. So definitely going to answer the question from the chat that Jack mentioned. But as a recap, so at our core, what we do is we bring people closer to their food supply and inspire engagement. And alongside of that, we're able to provide extremely nutrient-dense, fresh, and delicious produce to all of our partners. And there's no need to worry. So Quinn said she does have a bit of a green thumb, but if you don't, that's totally okay. Our micro farms utilize what we call Babylon IQ software for the monitoring of your growing environment. And you also have a dedicated support team that you can contact at any time. Again, like Quinn said, she's working with Matt. We've got a dedicated team who touch base with our partners all the time. In addition to that account management, you also get regular seed shipments based on what you order from our menu, seeds and food grade cleaning supplies delivered. You can stay on track with the guided growing app. Again, that's where those videos and tutorials live. In addition to reminders for when to transplant, harvest, things like that. And then again, you get that dedicated account manager with your micro farm. So access to our guided growing app, again, where you track everything, including cleaning dates as well. Your regular consumable subscription with produce from our menu, which you'll see more details on the menu in just a little bit, but we do offer seeds for a variety of leafy greens, herbs, edible flowers, and microgreens. And they come in some compostable and biodegradable seed pods that you just pop into the farm. Again, access to our menu with that's always growing and we're adding more varieties, sustainability and marketing content, as well as 24/7 access again to your dedicated account manager. And like I mentioned too, we definitely view this as a partnership, not a one-time single exchange. So you are not alone in the operation of your farm, and we're here to help make you succeed. So for installation in the measurement requirements, so answering that question from the chat, we've tried to make installation and operation as easy as possible. Basically, we do 90% of the work and we need 10% of your collaboration. Part of that 10% includes about an hour of maintenance time per week for light cleaning, harvesting, and planting based on your grow schedule. For installation of the unit, we need a 1/4-inch flexible water line, which is the same line that goes to your refrigerator, a wall outlet dedicated to the unit itself, just a standard wall outlet, with also to support the unit's hotspot as well as a sink or drain within 50 feet of the unit. So about every 3 to 4 months or so, we'll tell you that it's time to do a deep cleaning of the unit. And basically all that is is this bottom drawer here. This bottom part of the farm, sorry, is a drawer that's a reservoir where the water and nutrients live. And so we'll ask you to drain that again every 3 months or so. So that's why you need to be close to that drain. And the dimensions too. So just to translate it, it's about 6.5 feet tall by 5 feet wide and 3 feet deep. So it fits into standard elevators and door frames. And again, we install that on site, and we'll have one of our technicians come to make sure all of that gets taken care of. Something that our customers are excited about too is the branding that we offer. So that bottom reservoir I just mentioned is where we can do custom marketing on there, whether it's your logo or university mascot. If you want to have a slogan for, let's say, a club or internship that's going to be operating it, let us know and we'll design that for you, and make things a little bit more personal for the community you will be operating in. Oops, one more. So talking a little bit more about higher education, our farms really seamlessly fit into several engagement opportunities. Quinn mentioned several that were fantastic touch points, but we really do work closely with our partners to collaborate on ideating how they can offer exciting outreach initiatives and increase a sense of belonging and connection with their communities. So on campus, whether it's a dining hall presence or a horticulture course integration, we have many applications for serving your university's purpose and goals. On the screen, you can see some of the things that could apply to your university's goals and engagement. And I do want to call out too that we are an HE Stars partner as well. So getting to the menu, this is a updated menu for some things we just added. So we have new flowers on there, Sweet William and Stock Flower in a dwarf marigold variety. But our menu of produce is constantly being added to ensure our partners have access to flavorful and exciting produce. And so with your regular subscription, you'll have the chance to switch up what you're growing for each scheduled delivery. So anytime you want to change it, just get in contact with your dedicated account manager, and we'll add to your next shipment the produce that you want to try out. And just an overview too, I'll mention the grow times because I know the flowers had a question. So that's, it says 12 to 17 weeks. It depends on where you want to harvest. Our lettuces are 6 weeks. Leafy greens can be 6 to 7, depending on the variety. Microgreens have a 2-week turnaround time from seed to harvest. And then the herbs are about 9 to 10 weeks at full maturity. So sometimes it can be shorter than that, but again, the flowers and herbs, you can cut back up to 2 to 3 different times before you need an entirely new plant variety, or new plant, I should say. And digging into more on the produce side, so some things that you can definitely do, like Quinn mentioned, I love she has those salad jars for like shaker cups and things like that. But with the produce, you can definitely demonstrate your commitment to sustainability. So I'll dig into the sustainability details on the next slide. Healthy eating, higher nutrition, elevated culinary experiences as well. There's a lot that our produce can speak to. And again, we're so open to be collaborative partners with you on things that you want to bring to the table. And you can also customize your menu with a Babylon signature dish. So if you wanted to work with us on ideating how you can utilize the produce that you're growing, whether it's a pesto or some type of salsa, we're happy to help you create a signature dish that you can show off to your community. And something we proudly offer, again, is sustainability reporting. So for each of our partners, you can showcase your results. So every 6 months, you'll get a report card with the contributions you've been able to make with your microfarm. On the right is an example with one of our partners at Lansdowne Resort from 2023, just demonstrating the impact they've been able to make within those 6 months. So I know ESG reporting is really important to universities. So this is something where you can pull data from. In addition to that, we also align with 9 out of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. So if you're also marketing your alignment with the global goals in terms of ESG reporting, we have that information for you to pull from as well if you want to talk about how Babylon is truly a sustainable partner for what you're wanting to accomplish. And last but not least, the nutrition. So our nutrition is, our produce, I should say, the nutrition of it is highly competitive and surpasses USDA standards. On the right, you can see an example of when we tested our romaine lettuce against USDA standards, and we're really strong. So not only do we have many university partners who feature our farms in their dining halls with raving reviews from students, but we also partner with other organizations that especially love the nutritional aspect, such as the U.S. Olympics and Paralympics organization, and several senior living communities as well. So not only do we care about sustainability and community engagement, but the nutrition as well. And since you're harvesting on site and there's no food miles at all, you get as much nutrition as possible. So with that, ending with this wonderful quote from Quinn, posting stories when I'm farming really gets residents to engage with my content and see that there's a fresh produce for them to enjoy on campus. So again, she had so many nuggets to offer to all of us today in terms of how you can utilize a Babylon micro farm within your university, particularly with dining programs. But if you want to create an internship around the farm itself or kind of work it into other programs and clubs, we're here to support that and make that vision come true, because we do care about the community aspect a lot. So with that, thank you guys so much for joining the webinar today. I hope you learned a lot, got some really great ideas, and some food for thought as well. Feel free to email me if you have any follow-up questions at all from today, or if you want to hop on a call, I'm happy to run through more details with each of you. And again, thank you for your time, and we're so happy that you joined.